a one-bedroom studio apartment where both of them lived. That flat that my brother bought, had he not been stupid to sell it, is worth over £1 million today. But he sold it in order to finance his education. He got a master's degree, he got a PhD, and he came back and established in Western House and became a very prominent lawyer. For that £6,000 that was left in the money, my father discovered it 6 months after the war, when the manager of Barclays Bank then, which is now Union Bank, called him and revealed to him that he had £6,000 plus interest, which were not tampered with during the course of the war. My dad then decided to buy a Mercedes lorry bus. That time in the southeast, all the vehicles that were there had been used during the war, and many had been cannibalized, and the few that survived were smoking or hardly in any good condition to traverse state territories. There was no farming throughout the war, and a lot of people who were compressed in few communities where the war did not reach not have enough food cultivated in those communities to sustain them. So all the food that were coming to the east were brought from the west and the north, principally from the north. And so all the transporters had made a lot of money transporting food. Daddy decided to buy a Mercedes 911 lorry. And my mother cooked a very delicious meal that evening to congratulate him. And the highest she could kill was a chicken. And she reserved the gizzard in our custom for my father and some of the precious parts. As they were clinking their glasses in the veranda, my mom was thanking my father for making this investment, because now she had 3 children who were either supposed to go to university or now due for university who couldn't go, including myself, my immediate senior who later became governor of my state, and my late sister who became a pharmacist. And my father said, we just made money for the drivers because we have no way of knowing how much he earned and how much he will bring back to us. I was astonished to hear this. And so I said I was going to become a conductor. In the morning, I brought out my bag and I went downstairs to inspect the car and to organize the driver and the conductor. And my mom said to me, "Where are you going to?" I said, "I'm following these people." She said, "You're a foolish man. Go and drop that bag." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, I said, "I must go because I want to make sure that me and my siblings go to school." She said, "Oh, your father wants to use his son to make money." I said, "Mama, you must go to confession to our priest." So this driver and this conductor are not people's children. So you and your husband can use them to make money, but you can't use your son. And don't forget, I was a lieutenant in the war, and I was now audacious enough to confront my mother, having been exposed to chivalry. My mother was a little constrained by the fact that I antagonized her with God. And she shook her head and said, "Okay, come, let's go to my room. I need to pray for you." We got to her room. She was confused. She didn't know what she had called me to her room for. She gave me 2 charms, one of which I'm wearing in my neck, and one of which is in my pockets. One is a chaplet and one is a crucifix. And she said to me, "The Lord will protect you." And I came on and jumped on the 911. And as we drove off, they told me she kept running after us and crying. But I went to Lafia, Akwanga, Bukuru, Jos, Mubi, Maiduguri. I was running down at hills when the vehicle was moving slowly and difficult to climb, and I was putting the weight.
Welcome back to Danful Conversations, right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Welcome to Danful Conversations. Good afternoon. How are you doing? Right, I don't have my guest. I have a guest today, a special guest. Although I can't see him because he's joining me by Zoom. If I could see him, it would be great because I know you can hear me. Right, you may have seen him on TV. In fact, possibly you've seen him on TV this morning. He is one of the best analysts. In fact, one of the best finance brains and commerce brains and economists that we have in this country. He's a darling big brother of mine, so I had to beg him today to say, please, come to them for conversations. come and explain the budget to us. He's only got 15 minutes, people. So we're going to be able to have a chat after he's gone. All right. His name is none other than Tilewa Adebajo, the CEO of CFG Advisory. He's the CEO of CFG Advisory. Tilly, can you hear me? Okay, what's going on with the volume?
Yes, I can hear you. Good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm very well. Thank you so.
Can you?
Yes, now I can hear you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Great.
We've only got 15 minutes, so I'm going to try and pick as much out of your brain as possible. Lagos, Nigeria, just grab a pen and write things down. We'll be able to discuss after my guest has gone. So, the 2025 budget was presented by the president just 3 days or so ago, I think, around sort of lunchtime, 2 p.m.ish. What are your immediate thoughts, first and foremost, about the budget?
Well, I think it's a solid budget all around to start with, and it has some pros and it definitely has some cons. I think the upside of the budget is the fact that for the first time in about 25 or 30 years, we do not have an allocation for fuel subsidy in the budget in Nigeria, which is something that is quite important. On the other hand, we have a significant debt profile of about 16 trillion naira, which is about 32% of the entire budget. So the debt servicing of 16 trillion is larger than the recurrent expenditure at 14 trillion. It's larger than the capital budget at 14 trillion. And it's larger than education, defense, health, and infrastructure all combined, which as a total comes to about 14.5 trillion.
Wow.
So that is really why that is really the downside of this budget. So, but all in all, I think we look at it. The other downside of the budget is that we have another 13.8 billion deficit that requires financing. So cumulatively, you are looking at a deficit financing of close to about 20 to 25 trillion that this government has accumulated in the last year and a half that needs to be dealt with.
Thank you. I'm glad you started with that when you said debt servicing and you said it's higher than recurring expenditure, but even more so is that it's higher than education, which are the things that concern us, the ordinary people, right? The recurring expenditure, of course, is government cost. First and foremost, that recurring expenditure, let me go there. Tinubu does arguably, it has been said, he has one of the largest cabinets. That would have added to the recurring expenditure, correct?
By how much?
I don't know.
So see, all these things are relative.
Okay.
When you look at.
Okay.
Well, you need to know. You need to be able to research your facts and figures. I'll send you the detailed line by line items of the budget, so you look at it. Because the essence is, yes, the cabinet is large, and I think the total recurrent expenditure of the government, as you've seen, is 14 trillion all in all. So if you begin to trim the size of the cabinet out of it, everything does add up, but the point is, what is the impact this budget going to make? I think the questions you should be asking is, all this money that is being spent, is it going to reduce unemployment? All this money that is going to spend, what will be the impact?
I had unemployment on my list,
reduce unemployment. Exactly. Unemployment is key. So what impact will this budget have on unemployment? Will it increase it? So if you spend this money and you increase unemployment and you create certain amount of jobs, then what you spend at the end of the day does not really matter, because you've achieved an objective, because you've made an investment and you've got a return on that investment. So that is really what we need to look at. So this budget that we're looking at, recurrent expenditure, if you spend that, what stimulus is it going to bring to the economy?
Right.
Is it going to increase purchasing power?
Right.
What are you going to do with it? So these are the questions we need to ask. Is it going to grow the economy significantly? So is the impact that we need to look at. Because if you're spending in a way that is not impacting the economy, then your results are not going to be positive.
Okay.
So, and that is the big challenge we have in Nigeria, is that we're not growing our economy. We're only growing our economy at 3.5%, when we should be growing our economy between 8 to 10% per annum on a sustainable basis, because there are 200 million Nigerians.
Okay, thank you so much for that. And I'm glad you explained why we shouldn't really necessarily worry about the recurring expenditure. What we should worry about is the impact that it's going to have on the economy as a whole. Now, unemployment, as you know, is quite high. And what is it? God, the figures go out of my head right now. Now, that unemployment affects a lot of young Nigerians, young educated Nigerians. Would you say, from what you've seen in this budget, there's room for stimulating the economy to produce the jobs that young people need and are looking for?
So what you need to take out of a budget, really, at the end of the day, is the capital expenditure.
Okay.
Because the recurrent expenditure is what concerns government, and government paying for its civil servants and things like that. So when you take a look at the capital expenditure, it's quite that, are you spending money in the right places that you are going to create jobs? If, for instance, you're building some infrastructure that will create jobs and gainfully employ the youth, or you are building some tech hubs and you're investing in telecoms infrastructure that will create jobs for youth coming out of school, skilled people, then you can look at that. So, but unfortunately, one of the biggest problems we had with the budget, especially on the capital side, that we have not been able to meet the performance. We are not implementing the capital expenditure at an optimal level. Performance of those budgets are a bit suboptimal, and they're not optimal. So it's affecting how things really work. So these are the challenges that we have in terms of the budget, at least on the capex side. So unemployment now comes with economic policy. So because if government cannot, or government itself cannot contribute to everything, so what government needs to do is to create an enabling environment that will get the private sector to bring in their own money to invest, and to make sure that, okay, there's an enabling environment for manufacturers to thrive, for companies to create jobs, because when companies are thriving, they open more factories, they open more businesses, just as you've seen with the fintech. The fintech sector was not in Nigeria 10 years ago, but over the last 5-6 years, it exploded because the enabling environment was there, because we've already made the investment, or government had favorable policy in the telecom sector that brought in most of these telecoms operators who put their money in investing and building a telecommunications infrastructure and backbone. So on the basis of that, you've seen another industry explode on top of that. So those are those deliberate things you need to look at now. AI is becoming important. So what are you doing to create jobs? Even the simple jobs in manufacturing. And what is also important is that, how are we stimulating the informal sector? 50% of Nigeria's GDP is generated by the informal sector. There are more companies in the informal sector than the formal sector. And the formal sector employs more people than the formal sector. So it's a formidable sector of the economy. And that's another area where we need to look at to create those sort of policies and the enabling environment that will get economic growth going. So because government budgets cannot do everything. So it is the economic policy that they put in place that will help the rest of the economy as a whole, which can take care of itself. All government can do is to provide the right policy and just provide the right stimulus and the enabling environment.
Excellent. And one of the things that President Tinubu said, which I found quite interesting, and he said very confidently, is that inflation is going to reduce to 15%. Can we trust that? Do you think it will?
No, for me, any statement that is going to concern inflation has to come from the central bank.
Right.
So we're going to have to wait until the central bank makes its pronouncements on inflation, because they are the ones that are directly responsible. Yes, the president might want to have an expectation that inflation should be 15%, which is good, because the economy cannot grow in high inflationary environments. So we need to wait for the pronouncements of the central bank. But yes, if he's saying that they will do things, if the government does what they need to do, if they get their budgets right, if they sell down assets to pay down debts, and they increase oil production, then we won't have this sort of problems anymore in Nigeria, and everything would be hunky dory. So if they do that, then they can look at inflation. But it's only the Central Bank of Nigeria that will be able to tell us as to which way inflation is going.
Okay. The largest revenue generator that we still have in Nigeria is oil and gas. Do you think the government has done enough in order to put, or would this budget, would it stimulate or do the work that will ensure, like you said, policies that will ensure that other industries like mining, etc., that they grow so that we can have other forms of revenue generation?
Yes, again, government makes its money from taxes. So it is in government's interest for industry and companies to be thriving. Because it is only when these businesses and companies are thriving that the government can tax not only their workers, but also companies also. So again, the budget is about government. Budget is always about government spending and to see where government wants to put its capital expenditure. Again, some of these industries don't even require government money. All they require is to make sure that the government policy is right, and people will bring in their money. So this is really what is important. So the budget really is something that reflects government expenditure. And people are more concerned about the capital expenditure to say, okay, how many more airports are they building? Which roads are they going to make sure that it's working? So these are the things that people are looking for, because government that provides both normal economic infrastructure and also social infrastructure.
Okay, I know you've got to go. Forex or foreign exchange. One of the things he also said is that the foreign exchange will go down from 1,700 naira for US dollar to 1,500 naira. Do you trust that? Should we believe that?
Well, again, if they sell down assets and they increase oil production to 2.5 million barrels a day, it can even go down as lower than 1,000.
Right.
That's the bottom line.
Right.
So if you're doing 2,500 barrels of oil a day, 2.5 million barrels of oil a day, there's no reason why the foreign exchange should not be down to under 1,000.
Okay.
So, but if you don't have that oil production, you can't even begin to talk about that.
Okay. All right. We're going on a quick break now. We'll be back, and I want you to just explain to us about, because I heard you say this morning about selling off the JVs. I think my listeners need to know about those. Be right back.
More news and information coming up. We'll be back in a moment.
Nigeria, brace yourself. Brace yourself. Boxing Day will never be the same. Balmoral Group, in collaboration with Game Rush, proudly presents Chaos in the Ring. A night of explosive boxing action featuring multiple thrilling bouts, capped off with the ultimate showdown. Tilewa Adebajo, a boxer forged from the grit of the streets, takes on Rewan, real showboy Lawal, a decorated military officer trained to dominate. For the undisputed IBO All-African Featherweight title. This fight isn't just about title. It's a stand for resilience, a fight for our lives. You can't miss this electrifying night of boxing like you've never seen before. Enjoy pulsating music, mouth-watering food, epic celebrity bouts, and so much more. All goes down on Boxing Day, December 26, 2024, at the iconic Balmoral Convention Center, Victoria Island, Lagos. Chaos in the ring. Be there to witness history. Get your tickets now.
This is it. The ultimate stage for young minds to battle it out.
The governors are above the law. They tend not to lean on to public participation. Governors can make any decision without fear of...
What remains of a person's identity if it's only measured by external...
The urgency to safeguard life should outweigh preserving cultural sites.
Auditions for the I Beg to Differ Secondary Schools Debate Tournament is on. Do you have the passion, the intellect, the fire that stand above the rest? Then prove it.
The hallmark of any thriving society is an issue.
Study organization should be planned carefully into the data.
Standardized tests is a recipe for anxiety.
Prove you're the next great debater Nigeria has been waiting for. I beg to differ. Auditions open December 12, 2024 and close January 12, 2025. The clock is ticking. Visit www.nigeriainfo.fm now to register. I beg to differ. The Tournament of Champions.
People of Lagos, are you ready? Drinks Fest Lagos 2025 is here. The maiden edition of the Drinks Showcase, Drinks Fest Lagos, is going down on January 3rd and 4th, 2025 at the Landmark Event Center, Victoria Island, Lagos. Get ready for an experience like no other. Featuring immersive performances by your faves, DJ Crowd Controller, DJ Consequence, Alternate Sounds, Loud Urban Choir, DJ Beast, DJ Shoves, and hosted by the Energy God himself, DO to the TUN, alongside MIA. You don't want to miss it. Get your tickets now at www.tix.africa. Proudly supported by Trace TV, Cool FM, Nigeria Info, Justmen FM, and Bella Niger. Drinks Fest Lagos 2025. The Drinks Showcase awaits a without a box concept.
Welcome back to your number one talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
Welcome back to Down for Conversations. My guest is Mr. Tilewa Adebajo, CEO of CFG Advisory. He's unpacking the budget for us. This is he's not going to be able to stay much longer, so by the time we finish this conversation or by the time we get to the next break, he would have had to leave. Tilly, are you still there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I am there. So
excellent. Yes, so
I
the JVs.
For one more question. Yes, can I...
Okay, yes, that's right. The JVs, you mentioned about us selling off Nigeria, selling off JVs. Can you explain to us what those JVs are and why they will be better? Selling down, rather. Why it will be better for Nigeria to sell them.
Okay, well, 1977, Nigeria achieved for the first time oil production of 2.5 million barrels a day. Since then, our production has declined significantly, and right now, I think we're up to about 1.3 million barrels a day. So it's important that we restore confidence and begin to make investments in the oil and gas sector. Certain landmark transactions have happened. Shell for the North Bonga field, and Shell has sold down of its fields to a Renaissance group. ExxonMobil has sold some to Seplat, and Oando has also acquired some assets from Egypt. Now, these are very significant developments in terms of boosting the local oil industry and boosting overall oil production. So, but there are lots of other joint venture oil assets, which the government owns, for example, majority ownership in them, maybe 60% of the venture. But because the government does have the money to make the investments in all these oil assets, you cannot develop this asset on an optimal basis. Now, as resulted in the shortage of gas, not only for power, but we have a project which is an $8 billion project, LNG. The LNG, which is a goose that lists the golden egg, currently only has capacity, it's only receiving 50% of its gas. So it's important that government sell down these assets to the operators of these assets so that they can now make the investments to boost the production of oil and gas. And in the process, government can raise between $35 to $50 billion, which government can now begin to use to clear some of the debt and begin to ease the burden, and then government can now have money to spend on social infrastructure.
Excellent.
So that's the rationale behind the sell down of those.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So finally, before you go, in all, I think 2025 is going to be a better financial outlook for all of us. Given all the stuff that government has been doing.
The right policies. Yes, it's all about implementation. If you can get the policies right, as you can see, there's no more stops to the budget. It's a long, hard road, but if you can get the policies right, I don't think there should be too much of a problem. We've done it. This economy has grown at 15% before at a point in time. We can go back to that.
Thank you so much. Thank you for giving us 15 minutes. You've been on Down for Conversations, the only down for that goes jiggy. Thank you so much, Tilly. Take care. Right. Lagos. I'll be right back.
For every minute that goes by,
something noteworthy is happening.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu gave his assurance after President Muhammadu Buhari unveiled the Lekki Deep Sea Port.
It is only in Nigeria here that you politicians that does not go for medical screening.
The candidate doesn't need to be as fit as an athlete. He just needs to have a basic level of health and fitness. This is me being generous, Shetima.
Get up to speed with your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Lagos, Nigeria, welcome back to Danfo Conversations. Ogun State, some of you call from the southeast, from the south, and all of those places. Right, were you listening to that conversation? You've heard that we have a new budget. What are your thoughts? I had to bring in Tilly to explain, to kind of unpack the budget for us, even though, I don't know whether other people have discussed it. I presume my colleagues would have discussed it, but I really wanted, I wished I could have kept him for our full 90 minutes, but unfortunately, he's a man that's in much demand. Okay, so let's talk. Hello.
Chief Ambassador Riti Bakari.
Chief Mister, how are you?
Compliment.
Yes, happy Christmas.
Thank you very much. When you were mentioning his profile, I say, my show. So we have people like this. Look at all the explanation he gave about the budget.
Oh, yeah, he's a big brain. Massive. Yeah.
I'm telling you, those who are clapping, that they ask a question. These people who are clapping, are they not Nigerians? Did you hear what he said about the budget? Even the CBN? And you get some people clapping, kwa. Like he said, I think the CBN man, I hope that man is listening. Is it Kamel Cardoso?
Cardoso. Yes.
I hope the man is listening to this program now. And they need to get in touch with this Chief Oyebajo, right?
Tilewa.
You need to get in touch with the man.
Well, I believe they would be in touch. Tilly is quite well known and he's often on TV, especially on Arise and on channels where they call him to come and unpack a lot of our financial economic situations.
Well, Chief Mrs., I don't want to say they don't know what they're doing, but they need help. They need people like this chief now to tell them what to do. To be a good leader, you have to be a good listener. So you get?
Yeah.
They will take the glory. Is Zainab there?
Yes, she is.
Zainab Yekini, I will never forget that your presidential call. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So again, did I tell you that we met Chief Mister last week?
No.
Oh, so we visited some of our listeners.
Right.
And he happened to be the number one on the list.
Oh, fantastic.
We were surprised to have seen, there was this expectation. And when we saw him, we're like, oh. So it was like, what of Chief Mrs. Reti Bakari? So
I wasn't invited.
Week.
That's what they do.
Oh,
they don't invite me to these things. Lagos, Nigeria, now you've heard it. It's that simple. Let's not hide it. It's the long and short of it. So, but well done. So how many others, who else did you meet?
Grandma Omolara.
Okay.
We also met Mrs. Oboli.
Oh,
we
nice.
We met Karina. We met some other, like about 7 of them.
Oh, right.
The plan was to visit many more, but we couldn't because of traffic, heavy traffic. Pastor Ladipo, nice. We were meant to. Then Malik, we met a list of them.
Excellent. So. Thank you. Well done, guys. Sorry, you can call back now. We're going back to the show. Sorry, we took a detour there. Right, let me read this message. We have a call. Okay, let's talk. Hello. Yes,
talk
good
of
afternoon.
Saints, not the devil.
I beg your pardon?
Good afternoon, Madam Iriti. I said talk of the saints, not the devil. My name is Grandma Molara.
Grandma Molara, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. Compliments of the season.
Same to you. Happy Christmas. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Keep up the good work.
We try.
Thank you for reaching out.
Yes.
Zeze.
Grandma.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sethi.
Good afternoon. What's your name and where you calling from?
Uzoma on the line.
Hello, Uzoma.
Yes, thank you, ma. We are talking of the budget. Ma.
Yes, that's the topic.
That budget, I didn't understand it. Even the scenario, the senators and the other people who are supposed to be serious, they are just looking as if they've come to joke. And they are singing on your mandate will start. When people are dying of hunger, the mandate, the budget of last year, budget of hope, I don't think we smelled it. We didn't even see anything. We didn't feel it. We didn't feel it at all. And now another one has come again. Because things are getting so harder and harder. I can't even explain it in the market. All over. All over. Please, if this budget will affect us, I can see that there is 15 billion they want to go and use and buy SUV car again. And tire, people are dying of hunger. What type of government is this?
Thank you.
They could help us put mouth because.
Well, that's why I called Tilly in to come and unpack the budget for us. And he did unpack it for us in as much detail as possible. I have a message here. You can call me on 0201 277 0993, 0201 465 7190, or send your message to 0809 597 5805. Did you listen to my 15 minutes conversation with Mr. Tilewa Adebajo? Did you hear him unpack the budget for us, even though we couldn't go into as many details? Remember, we talked about the 15% inflation because the government or the president has said next year inflation will go down to 15%. Right? Tilewa talks about our debt servicing. He talked about our recurrent expenditure. Now, often when it's time for it, when we hear this recurrent expenditure, we panic. And I do as well. I'm like, why are they spending so much money on bills? Right? Because you have capex, then you have opex. The recurrent expenditure is part of our opex. Opex being operational expenditure, right? And so, we panic and we wonder what's going on. Oh, let me speak to that. Hello.
Hello, Madam.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What's your name? Where are you calling from? I'm very well, sir. Happy Christmas, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Zainab, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yeah, Madam, one of the problems we are having in this country is, picture this. You have 10 houses, you have 5 cars, and you are still looking for more. You're not checking your next door neighbor. Is he surviving? And all those things, if we can, like we want to start listening, the DPs, fine. You see, people inside cannot see what is happening, like the offshores. Vessels come, load product, and go.
Your line, you don't have the best line, unfortunately. I'm struggling to understand what you're saying. Can you go, please? Just sort of, yeah, the line has cut off. I didn't think so. Sorry about that. Do please call back. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Right. Okay. Because when you do call, be by your phone, please. All right. Otherwise, I don't know who you are. Anyway, so I have a message here from Steve Ofere in Ijaniki. Steve says, it's no more news that budgets of the federal government and across the states have become mere academic exercise. They simply search for different tags and names, and no one is talking of the performance of the previous ones. Have we forgotten the mystical and funny names ex-Governor Ayade gave his different budgets? No, I haven't, and please do not remind me. I don't even want to think about those things. They were beyond ridiculous. They know that we are just too docile and prefer sycophancy. So the powers that be will always continue presenting figures, no matter how senseless it looks, and praises will just follow. Just like Akpabio turned the budget presentation to a campaign occasion. And talking of the difficulties in this season, it is also no more news because we all have witnessed how the country has been since 2015. It's been misery, sorrow, and lamentations amongst the ordinary citizens. Our way is just too far as concerned good governance. I don't know about that, actually. I have to say I don't know about that. Yes, this year has been incredibly difficult for everybody. Inflation, what is it? Is that 20-something%? I can't quite remember now. Zena, please check that for me. I can't remember what it is now, but I know it's in the 20s. Inflation is crazy. It's absolutely crazy, right? However, we know why that inflation is, and this is not about APC, PDP, and don't you dare call me to say you are defending government. I am merely giving you the objective. We are all in the same situation. So you had a government or a president who came in and immediately, the moment he was told you were president, he removed the subsidy. That led to a great deal of pain. But he was stubborn and adamant, and he said, I am going to keep it removed. It's going to cost a lot of pain, even if the citizens don't like it or appreciate it or applaud me for it, right? Eventually, you will see the result of what I'm doing. So we know what that caused. That led to insane hike in the price of petrol, in scarcity, in queues, and all sorts of madness. Yet here we are now today. We have Dangote Refinery. Okay, we have Dangote Refinery. Of course, we still have the NNPC. We have an open market. We have Dangote right now, who is now, for the season of Christmas, Yelchud season, who has reduced the cost of his petrol, which meant that petrol is a little bit cheaper at the pump price. Nobody's talking about that, right? We know that government actually collapsing the two markets and making sure we only have one forex market led to, and of course, combine that with removing subsidy and everything, it led to high foreign exchange prices, and everything in Nigeria is tied to foreign exchange. But wait, we're not producing anything. Well, it's really quite slow if we look at what we're producing. So if we're not actually producing stuff, or we don't have other items on our revenue, right, that feed into our revenue, that are producing that are sort of bringing in money that will add to our revenue, then where do we expect those other dollars to come from? How do we expect to be able to fight the foreign exchange and reduce it? Where is the income going to come from? So we know all of this, Steve, and I know you know all of this. So what I'm saying is, yes, it has been incredibly difficult. We now have a new budget. I remember saying to a friend of mine, just even before, it was before the president presented the budget, I remember saying to a friend of mine, you know, they always say to me, you're very optimistic and everything. And I said, well, put it this way. We are where we are, and we have a president that insists that he's doing reform. Whether you trust his reform, whether you agree with it or not, whether you even agree with the way he's implementing that reform. The man is president, and he said, I am going to be doing reform, right? And he's doing his reform. That's great. So here's one thing I know. You cannot reform forever. At some point next year, we have to start seeing the results of all the steps you've been taking this year. This is also what I was saying to my friend. And I said, for that reason, and unfortunately, I didn't get to ask Tilly that I really wished I could have kept him for more. I had so many questions for him. Fortunately, is that if you are saying to us that inflation is going to be 15%, I'm expecting that you are also saying, because of all the steps and all the pain that we've put you through this year, we have an expectation, and I would expect him to have spoken to the CBN, because the CBN reports to him. Yemi Cardoso reports to him, right? I would expect him to have gotten that number from the CBN. Right? So if inflation is going to be coming down, My expectation is you're saying to us, all the work that I've done this year is going to lead to a lower inflation, because from next year you should start seeing the results of what I am doing. So that's why, Steve, I hear you, I agree with you, but I don't share in your pessimism. I just can't. I don't. Okay. Okay, I've got another message here. You can call 0201-277-0993, 0201-4657-190. Send the messages to 0809-597-5805. Yeah, I have a message here from Ayo. Cecil, it seems that to be those at the helms of the affairs just put figures together without any direction. How will these budgets be funded? They have extended 2024 budgets to June 2025. Most of the items are repeated and may not be expanded on. We need a functional NAS to provide checks and balances. Ayo, God bless you. God bless you. That is such an important point. A functional NAS, because I would agree, and I think everybody would agree, that right now we have a NAS that just seems to be excelling in sycophancy and choir praising than actually doing the work for us, right? A budget that was presented at around lunchtime-ish, 2 o'clock-ish, a couple of days, it was yesterday was Thursday. It was presented on Wednesday. By Thursday, we're hearing that it's been passed for second reading. How? I watched the president present that budget. I watched it live, right? I told you guys I'm obsessed with the news. I watched it live. I watched the interviews of the Senate. And as they were coming out, they were all saying we need till January. So how is it within 24 hours or less than 24 hours, you've now been able to pass it for second reading? I don't understand. At which point did you go over the line items? When? You didn't sleep? So yes, Ayo, I totally agree with you. If we had a more functional NAS, we actually might be able to trust in what is presented to us better. Let's talk. Hello? Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Kindly turn your radio. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Is that Merchant Man? How are you?
This is the Merchant. I'm fine, ma'am.
Talk to me.
Yeah, good afternoon, beautiful sister Zainab. How are you doing, sister?
She can hear you. Let's go. This is my show. Let's go. This is that.
All right.
She can hear you.
Yeah, it's okay. The truth remains, this is the worst type of National Assembly I've seen. Their practices looks like voodoo. Because what I say is voodoo is you can't just present a budget within 24 hours. It's gone through second reading and it's just a next subject to be passed. Then, how do we fund the recurrent expenditure when we don't have anything as a people that we produce? And
we're going to be borrowing. That's the long and short of it. We will be borrowing.
The most devastating aspect of it. You borrow to fund your recurrent expenditure. Who does that? Who does that in a country that has been endowed with so many potentials, and our leaders continue to borrow to fund
their excesses? Yes.
It's very, very. Sometimes if I continue to think about it, it makes me to lack some words to qualify what I'm saying. But the truth is, I want to know how they will do the miracle and the magic that will bring down the rate of inflation come next year. Thank you very much. That's my own contribution.
Thank you, Merchant Man. Hello. Hello.
Hi, Cecile.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Mrs. Oboli, how are you?
I'm good, ma'am. Compliments of the season.
Happy Christmas. I'm the Happy Christmas. I don't say compliments of the season. Because when you say to me compliments of the season, I think, there's no compliment in Hamatan. And it's Hamatan season. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, you don't like Hamatan? Wow.
Well, who does? Our skins get dry. You can't stop wiping and cleaning. And even at the moment, everything just gets dirty again. But go ahead.
You see, Nigeria Info is not the best station for no reason. It's simply because the organization, the OAPs, the entire crew, they know their onions. And you continually do the best. Again.
Yes, go ahead.
I think there's a way if only there's a way I can tell the nurse that psychophancy is not patriotism, I would gladly tell them that. You think when you presing the chairperson at the top, you think that would augur well, and even if it augur well, and you are crossing his T's and dotting his I's because he's the one who pays the piper and is dictating the tune, what happens to the people that are being led? It doesn't make sense. Nigeria is the only country where I know that rather than grow our seeds, we eat our seeds. How do you expect us to grow? How? Recurrent or what? In fact, the kind of names I hear, renewed hope, renewed shaggy, hope of restoration or budget of expansion, budget of restoration. Instead, we are seeing budget of debt and negativity. Nothing is happening. Nothing is working. So in spite of many things I've heard on your show, like the analysis and everything today, I keep asking myself, if only these people listen to radio, maybe they choose to turn a blind eye to see because there's a mistrust and a far removed reality from the led and the people they are leading. In a house where you have different kinds of people in the house that not the same party, they've all turned the national anthem to "On Your Mandate We Shall Stand." And they can even adopt that one within the twinkle of an eye. What are you telling? I don't understand.
Thank you so much.
What happens if there were to be a budget padding? Nothing will happen. It will pass second reading, it will pass, and it will turn to into a bill, and nothing will happen. It's a shame. This is a yes, that is a shame.
Break time. It is a shame.
Thank you, Mom.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Be right back after this.
Hello, Lagos. This year, make it a Christmas to remember at Fun Factory Amusement Park. So bring the whole family to meet Santa, enjoy holiday fun, and create unforgettable memories together. So if you're planning a friend's holiday hangout, make this season one for the books. So join us at Fun Factory Amusement Park for a Christmas to remember. So for inquiries, call 080-9828-8888, and that is 080-9828-8888.
Nothing travels faster than news.
The Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, to a meeting over the Apex Bank's timeline to retire old 200, 500 and 1,000 naira notes.
Great conversations last longer.
Then just because sometimes you just change all of it.
More talk, news and sports after this. It's that time of the week again. Are you ready to dive into the wide world of news? Join us for the Hat Fact Awards every Friday at 3 to 4 p.m. on Nigeria Info FM. We are breaking down the best, the worst, and the downright Nawa stories that had everyone talking this week.
No, wow. Some people can do zero.
From jaw-dropping headlines to the most outrageous events, we've got it all covered.
And y'all know how we do it, so let's get it on.
Tune in as we celebrate the stories that make you laugh, cry, and shake your head in disbelief. Whether it's the latest viral sensation or the craziest political blunder,
we are going to provide you with insecurity.
We'll give you the rundown on what's hot and what's not. And guess what? You get to vote for your favorite stories in our weekly awards. Who will take home the coveted title of the best stories of the week, and which tale will earn the infamous worst story of the week? Hat Facts Awards on Nigeria Info FM, where we turn the news into entertainment.
Dear industry, what's up? We really need to sit and just talk. You've been good to me from day one, so please hear me out, I promise it's so love. Okay, first clients, you need to get back to the basics, a plan and a strategy, you know you can't fake it. And ad is just part of the story you want to tell. That influencer you hide, is he really doing well? Influencer, you get the number, do, but no human connection, do. Your followers don't reach 100K, but because of giveaway, it don't pay. And brands, what's your plan? No be only Gen Z, this thing concern. The trends and the dance challenges, they need to stop. Think like a consumer and connect the dots. Oh, yeah, get to work. Demographics are cool, but they're only a piece in the pie we're here to cut. And if you don't come correct, your audience will be getting lost. Yes, of course. So what's the missing link? What's the pulse now? Creativity and strategy is a must now. Hit us up, we'll make your brand shine. We'll be your marketing pulse, your creative lifeline.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
Your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Downfall Conversations with Ireti Bakari.
Hello, Lagos. It's time to turn up. Drink Fest Lagos is here to set the New Year vibes on fire. So 2 incredible days, January 3rd and January 4th, 2025 at Landmark Event Center, Victoria Island, Lagos. So a drink showcase is happening live. A celebration of drinks, Lagos culture, and beautiful people. So just get ready for a drink showcase like no other. And what is a drink showcase without the best entertainment? We have DJ Crowd Controller, DJ Consequence, the Energy God himself, and so much more. So don't miss Lagos' hottest event to kick off 2025. Just head to get your ticket at tix.africa. tix.africa. And you could check their social media pages at Drink Fest Lagos on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and X. And don't forget to get your ticket at tix.africa.
Welcome back to Downfall Conversations right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Welcome back to Downfall Conversations. Let me read your messages because we have a minute before Yvonne gives us the news. Good afternoon, crew. Please, we are all not talking about the big elephant in the room. If there is a strong political will to drive every policy to the latter, and ensure there is relief for the people. Now, the political will that is required urgently on all our national matters. Oh, I get you now. Ayobami from Alagomeji. Thank you, Ayobami. I have another message here. There is no promise APC government has ever fulfilled in the past. From security, economy, corruption.
Stay one step ahead with Nigeria Info.
From the biggest stories,
Trends and conversations.
let's talk only on Nigeria Info. The news update on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Right, Lagos, let's look at the headlines this afternoon. National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu says Nigeria has made significant progress in its fight against insecurity, with security agencies achieving an 80% success rate in combating kidnapping. Meanwhile, Lagos State Government has donated 260 patrol vehicles and various security gadgets to the police and other security agencies in the state. President Bola Tinubu has expressed sadness over the tragic incident at the children's fun fair in Ibadan, while First Lady Oluremi Tinubu condoles with Governor Seyi Makinde and the people of Oyo State over the Ibadan tragedy. Medical doctor has revealed that there is a growing drug problem in Nigerian tertiary institutions, while the Senate has passed the 49.7 trillion naira restoration budget for a second reading. The House of Representatives is recommending the delisting of the National Examinations Council, the University of Ibadan, and 22 other departments and agencies from the 2025 budget. Ugo Obi Chukwu, the CEO of Nairametrics, has described the 49.7 trillion naira budget presented by President Bola Tinubu as ambitious. The immediate past governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, has been granted bail in the sum of 500 million, with 3 sureties and like sum, while former group managing director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited the directors are backing the ongoing overhaul of the Port Harcourt refinery. And President
President Vladimir Putin of Russia has stated that he should have acted earlier and better prepared before the full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. Those are the headlines. This is still Down for Conversations with Ireti Bakari Yusuf. You are listening to 99.3 Nigeria Info. Stay here.
Nothing travels faster than news.
The Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, to a meeting over the Apex Bank's timeline to retire old 200, 500 and 1,000 naira notes.
Great conversations last longer.
Then just because sometimes you just change all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's not being good. That's not being good. That's witchcraft.
We do it all here on your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Let's talk.
Welcome back to Danfo Conversations. We're talking about the budget. Oh, yes, I was reading out your message, Alex from Ojo, and I'll go back and finish reading it. You can call 0201 277 0993 0201 4657 0809 597 5805 is the WhatsApp number that you can send your messages to, which is what Alex has done. And Alex said, there is no promise APC government has ever fulfilled in the past. From security, economy to corruption, the promise of building refinery. Dollar will be 1 naira to 1. No. Dollar will be 1 naira to $1. When you look at the debt profile only, the progress of our country is like an elephant that cannot fly. We talk about oil, where other source Nigeria make. I don't understand. We only talk about we talk only about oil. Maybe you meant to say what other source does Nigeria has to make revenue? I don't know. Understand that. All the promises from the president are propaganda. Alex from Ojo. Well, we do talk about oil a lot because that is our main income. It's our main earner, right? It is our main earner. However, we have agriculture. We have mining. We have services. I'm trying to think of other line items that other things that we can sell. Okay, we have all these other things that we can sell abroad because it's when you sell those things abroad that they buy in dollars and then you get dollars. So I do hear you. We do have that. I also hear you when you talk about APC telling us dollar will be 1 naira to $1. It's curious because 2015, what the very risky. We're told plenty of things. Heck, we were told to occupy Nigeria when Goodluck was going to remove subsidy. And here we have the same president that was pushed us to occupy Nigeria, that led that movement. Okay, pretty much removing subsidy himself. They will tell you it's politics. It's politics, it's politics, it's politics. They will say GJ should have played it better. They would say Tinubu played it better than GJ or APC played it better. On corruption, of course, we haven't done anything. On the economy, though, like really, really seriously, let's think about that for a minute. Really, let's think about that. Okay, so what do I have here? Okay, let's talk, and I'll come back to your messages. Hello?
Good afternoon.
Yes, oh dear, I'm so sorry. Call back. Right, I have messages here from... I pray you read my message today. I do not... Why do you think I would not read your message? Inikbe, right? Michael Inikbe. Am I pronouncing that correctly? From Akpo Resettlement. Why would I not read your message, my love? Why? I pray you read my message today. Christmas is the celebration of our Lord Jesus Christ, and my wish is that I have my own person to call a husband. Thank you. Is that your message? What's that got to do with the budget? That's probably why your message is not being read. What is wrong with you? It's okay to pray to God for a husband, for a man, but can we stay on topic, please? If I had seen that, I would just to let you know that I actually don't I don't profile messages before I read them. Otherwise, I certainly would not have read that out. It was totally pointless. Good afternoon, Nigeria Info. It's Nigeria Info 93. Thank you very much. Nigeria Info. Nigeria Info has nothing to do with us. Get it right. Get it right. You're lucky I'm about to read your message. Honestly, are people not of the same story all over and over and over, tired of the same story over and over and over and over again till thy kingdom come in this country? You have said and said from beginning of the year to ending. Next year you start all over again. Nothing and nothing can ever work again in this nation. Can't you all see this, for crying out loud? Nigeria needs to be broken down and rebuilt, and that will never be till a revolution occurs. Not all this demonstration of grace you call democracy in the name of patriotism. That's Bob La from Aja. We are in a pessimistic mood, aren't we? So, okay, people are complaining. Yeah, they have a right to complain. Yeah, it might be repetitive. Yes, it might get on your nerves. Sometimes it gets on my nerves. It is what it is. But today we're not complaining. We're actually talking about the budget. So if people want to reference, if people are juxtapositioning with the budget of last year, who are you to come telling us we need a revolution? You want to start a revolution? Go ahead and start one. If it lasts for 10 days, the rest of us might join you. Until that time, let us be. Bob La from Aja. Right, where are we? There is no point always beating. Oh, let's talk and I'll come back to this. Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Is that Emmanuel?
Yeah, it's Emmanuel I'm speaking.
How are you?
I'm fine. I'm doing well.
Yeah, go ahead.
For the budget, number one, I was not comfortable, with what happened at the National Assembly.
Okay, yes, go ahead.
The clapping, at the point the president made his speech, and he was even expecting them to clap. They didn't, and then he held on for some seconds, before he starts speaking again. So it's as if some of us are spoiled people, rather than comporting ourselves and be sober and face issues the way they ought to be faced. Approaching them, with this illusion and hypocrisy. That is on one. Now, let me dive into the budget proper. I think, personally for me, I think education, should have get a large chunk.
A larger chunk, yes. It's supposed to, right?
Of the budget.
Yeah,
this is what I mean.
Yeah, I would like that as well.
I don't mean just the formal education, the university, the primary school, and so on. I mean skill acquisition. Large skill acquisition.
Okay. You're talking about skills acquisition and training, right?
Yeah, and training.
Right. Yeah.
Enlightenment.
Enlightenment. When you say enlightenment, what do you mean?
I mean consciousness. Of Nigerians in the aspect of the National Orientation Agency.
Right. But let me say something about the National Orientation Agency. Have you seen that advert that they're doing? Captain Excellence. Have you seen Captain Excellence? And I really like that advert. I like the fact that they created a character called Captain Excellence who literally comes in and explains whatever it is. So in the one my favorite one. Yeah.
Another aspect that should be taken up, by the National Orientation Agency is the interland, the rural areas. A lot of people don't watch all these adverts or even listen to radio. But the National Orientation Agency can make a spread of which every word, of the 774 local governments in Nigeria, we see the presence of a National Orientation Agency officer, who enlightens the people. So,
about what's going on in the
instance,
country.
When we talk about crowd control, information, from the government of which the people can benefit from it, and so on. Because if you are giving defense a large chunk of the money, the impression you are trying to create is that you are trying to acquire more weapons, to kill the Nigerian youth.
Oh, no. I can't. I have to come in there. The reason we all know that a lot of our problem is security. And that security, fundamentally, there are many issues that it causes. But one of the things it's caused is hunger and this food inflation, because our food is not able to travel from the farm to the market to the cities.
Okay, I understand you. A young man who is well trained and enlightened will likely not take up arms.
Correct. But if you're also, but at the same time, we also have domestic terrorists that we need to fight, right?
Okay. These people can be a great asset to this country. If they were well brought up from the beginning. We've been killing for over 15, 18 years.
Okay.
And we are still killing. We are planning to kill in the next 4 or 5 years.
I don't think it's about killing. When you put money on security, it's not necessarily about fight. It's also about prevention. And we need to look at, and perhaps what needs to happen is we need to spend more money or more of the security budget on intelligence, which is prevention.
In as much as we are trying to go to that route, we should also focus on education.
I agree.
And again,
thank you. You gotta go. Emmanuel, you like to monopolize me. I watch you. Thank you. Hello. Three strikes you're out.
Good afternoon.
Oh, go ahead. Hello.
Yeah, my name is Kokoti. Calling from Ireland. I was kind of surprised. Lagos Island.
Okay, go ahead. You have one.
I was kind of surprised when you said that you were surprised or were taken aback that the budget is passing the second reading.
Well, yes, it's a disgrace.
Yeah, you said you were taken aback that it's already passing a second reading.
Well, how does that happen in 24 hours? Less than 24 hours.
Even from he was reading read. You heard every one of them singing, "On your mandate we shall stand."
Yes, so I also heard, no, let's not do this. You say this, there are certain people, let me just say to you, there are certain people that I actually personally, as a journalist, as a broadcaster, that I don't interview because they do the Nigerian thing and answer and do all these questions and they throw no. What I'm saying to you is, let me just say, the same people.
Nothing to write home about.
No, they're not. We agree on that. But having said that, the same people, members, Oshomole and some of the other ones, were interviewed immediately after the budget presentation. And they actually said, you have to give us till January. So, yes, I have every right to actually be taken aback.
I understand that, ma. But what I'm saying is that this is Nigeria. They can choose to do whatever they feel like.
Well, yes, they break their own rules all the time. Yes, correct.
They break their own rules. They make the rules and they break them. So nobody is really accountable for anything. So that's it.
Thank you very much.
They don't care about what happened to the citizens. You're doing a great job, ma.
I try. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Happy Christmas.
God bless.
God bless you too. Right, what have I got here? Good day, Cecilia. APC and their cohorts are full of propaganda. With all the promises they churned out during elections, they've not been able to fulfill one. All they do best is to bring more hardship on the people. From change in 2015 to renewed hope, these guys are pure liars and manipulators. Nigerians must wake up and start keeping these crops of rulers on their toes. We can't keep going around in circles. God bless Nigeria. Edozi and Dinanji. Thank you so much. However, I've got to ask, do you not think we keep them on their toes? Because I think we do. I actually think we do. I think that's part of what this organization, this station does very, very well. Okay, I think other media, my colleagues and other media houses also do that. I think we do a lot of interview. One of the things that I get fed up is, in fact, often we tend to repeat the same. Sorry, I'm just being distracted by Liverpool beating Spurs. 2-0. Yeah. One of the things that I do get annoyed with, though, is that we tend to regurgitate the same people. I would like to see more people. Next year, for Down for Conversations, we will try and get these people in. But you know what? They also don't want to talk to me sometimes. I literally try. I can be a pest, right, when I want them. But I don't know what reputation I have, but some of them don't want to talk to me. They won't respond or whatever. You know, Daniel Bola is one of those for a long time. And even when the man said yes, and he said he was coming, and then he let me down, and I called and sent messages through mutual friends. Yeah? And I will say that because it's a fact, because I have it on WhatsApp. All right? He said he was ill, then he said something. But anyway, never mind. What have I got here? Hi, Cecil Gay. Is only crude oil and gas money will use to go fund our budget always? What about money made from gold mining and others? That's Lucky from Moab. Lucky rather. We are going to be borrowing. We're going to be borrowing, international borrowing, I don't know, private, ways and means and whatever. We are going to be borrowing, yes, and interest rate is pretty high. It's like, what, 27% or so. Something like that. Yeah, it's crazy. We're going to be borrowing. Because we're still not earning enough. We need to earn more. You heard Tilly tell us we need to earn more. Also, he also told us, that's Tilewa, my guest, he also told us that if the government, if President Tinubu can actually find the courage and the audacity that he used to remove subsidy, these are my words, not Tilly's words, that he used to remove subsidy from the second he was told congratulations. If he can use that courage to sell down our joint ventures, Tilly told us that we would be raising some 30 to 50 billion US dollars. That's a whole load of money. And it doesn't mean we still won't be earning from those joint ventures. We would be. But it's just that, think of it like privatization. It means that government won't have to deal with staff. NNPC will have to hands off and do some more work, okay? So all government will be getting is revenue, right? Rather than having to interfere or try to drill, which as Tilly taught us, we've gone down from 2.5 barrels in 1977 to 1.3 barrels today. That's like disgraceful. So yes, there are ways that we can earn if they sold off those joint assets. In fact, I think there's the government has 22 fleet airplanes or something. If they can just sell that, I beg, just sell that. I mean, you know, we know that our president likes his new bird. He's flying all over the place. The man has been in the sky more time than an eagle. Haha, Garrett. But, you know, if only I don't begrudge him buying a new plane. I begrudge the fact that the rest are sitting there doing nothing. So can they just sell that? And if they have sold it, then they haven't told us. Naz! Akpabio, what are you doing? Let me answer a call. I'm almost out of here. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You have a minute. Go ahead.
It's Romeo. I'm calling you from Indigo.
Go ahead, Romeo. Mine is Juliet right now. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mrs. Oge. You see one thing, just like what you said. If they can give out the joint ventures, but because if they give out the joint ventures, how are they going to line their pockets? Do you understand?
Yeah.
If you have a box office, all tickets are registered and going through a particular place whereby you cannot have side tickets to make side attractions.
Yeah.
How do you line your pockets? How do you fill your own pockets? How do you they say their covetousness, their attitude of stealing and everything? How do they achieve those? So that's one of the issues that we are having. Because even they are saying the balance of oil they are complaining about. What about the ones that have been taken from the high sea? With gigantic vessels. Like places like Brass, like places like Bonny. Vessels come in and load. All those things that they put in record, those are part of Nigeria money that is going out. LNG is also doing the same thing, loading and going. But if they load 10 and the tell us is only 4 or 5, who's going to ask them questions?
Yeah. I get you. And is also and also I've got to say this, it's also you have a certain, because I don't want to say which part, but most of you will know, because I don't actually want to sort of center it around them and create any kind of but you have a certain part of the country that are used to, because so successive governments have been unable to actually sell off these joint ventures. They're afraid to, because it needs courage.
In 1995, there was what we call School on Wheels by Shell. And this is for the rural areas. That's like all this, most of these areas they live on water. Shell was bringing education to them. What happened to that? It just died off like that.
Thank you.
God bless you.
God bless you too, my brother. Right, so Zainab just sent me. She's doing good work for me. She said, ooh, the government has, I'm looking for their fleet. The presidential fleet consists of 6 aircrafts and 6 helicopters. The aircraft include 1 Boeing business jet used as Air Force One. Yeah, but it's got a new one now, so Air Force One is a new bird in the air. What have I got here? I have, good afternoon, CCOG once again. Please, someone made a statement that we have been increasing the security budget every year, and we seems not to have made significant progress on the insecurity. Onions don't scare now. And I have been wondering what is wrong with onions this year. Could be insecurity as well. Yes, because I don't understand why onions are so expensive, apart from the fact that I think they're disgusting. I absolutely cannot bear onions. Yes, you can liquidize it and do it in pepper and stew and whatever. But if you dare to if you fry onions near me, you literally would have to call an ambulance. I think them is the most disgusting thing, but I know most people like them. Anyway, and if you eat onions near me, don't even propose to me. Anyway, so Ayobami goes on to say, please, we need to match our budget with results. Even we are not going to talk about the recurrent expenditure. And if we are not earning enough, why don't we cut our coat according to our size? Let our revenue drive our cost, not expenditure driving our revenue. Oh, good point. Good point. That's a very good point. Thank you. Have I got time to answer that call? No? 90 seconds. 30 seconds. 30 seconds, I've got to go. In the 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you, join me for Borderlines. We are talking, where are you? Okwayemi, Emmanuel, all of you. We are going to be talking Ukraine. Yes, Ukraine and Russia today on Borderlines. Then we're also going to be talking ECOWAS. You know what's happened. You know there was an ECOWAS meeting. You know what happened. We've got 3 of our ECOWAS brothers, they are leaving. They're supposed to be leaving end of this next month. We're going to be discussing that. But yes, Russia, Ukraine on Borderlines at 4 o'clock. My name is Iriti Bakari Yusuf. On Down for Conversations, it is CCOG or CCOG Lagos. We've been Jiggy Jaga Jiggy Jaga Jiggy. Bye-bye. Later.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We'll be right back. Nigeria, brace yourself. Brace yourself. Boxing Day will never be the same. Balmoral Group, in collaboration with Game Rush, proudly presents Chaos.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. 99.3 Nigeria.